Bookaholics, it's Isabel and welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be doing my top 10 books of 2018. For 2018, I ended up reading 50 books. That wasn't quite my goal. My goal was to read 70, but as you've known, if you've been watching my videos, I've been in a reading slump. So it really killed what I wanted to read this year, but that's okay. Out of this year, I actually didn't have too many top ones that I loved. I've had a little bit of a crappy reading actually this year. I've either read ones that I really loved, which was not very many of the 50 ones I read. Most of the ones I read were kind of meh, so I gave them 3.5. The other ones I read this year, I gave a 2.5, 2 stars. I've had more of a range this year of what I liked, and I think that was part of why I didn't really want to read too much, because the ones I've been picking up, I haven't been loving. So I don't have too many, but I found 10 top ones that I really enjoyed this year. So let's get right into them. So my top number 10 for this year would be The Truth About Alice by Jennifer Matthew. This one I actually really enjoyed. I got it a long time ago in a book depository order and I just never actually read it. One of the people I watch, Katie from Kate's Book Date, she really loved this book, which is the main reason why I ended up getting it. So this book, it follows 3 different characters, I believe, who have been affected by this rumor that's going around about Alice. Rumor that she's a slut. It's written all over the bathroom walls and all this stuff is being said about her without any real concrete evidence on it. And so different characters we follow here are either affected by it or have added to that rumor. And so we get to follow all these different characters who aren't all that great, actually. I know I was reading this book and I was angry. I was literally just angry at what these people were saying and what they were thinking, and it just got me really emotional, which I love when books get me emotional, which is why this is in my top 10. It got me really angry and emotional and just fired up. So I love when books do that, and that is why this is in my top 10. My number 9 book this year is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. So this book is actually written all in verse. The main character wants to be a Islam poet, and so she's in this poetry class. She's not supposed to be. Her religion is very strict, and her parents are very strict, and she decides to go to the Islam poetry club anyways and starts learning about that and doing all this stuff, and it was very powerful. The quotes in here were amazing. I loved it. I think I did this for my book 2-a-thon, I think. I love how the author wrote it, and the way that she used the verse to display the main character's feelings was so amazing and so fantastic, and I love this book. If you want a quick read, but an emotional read and very thought-provoking and just amazing, I recommend Poet X. My top 8, which actually was my last book I read this year, I read Less by Andrew Sean Greer. I saw this a lot on Instagram and I was curious about it. I got it and I finally was able to read it. It's a little hard to get into. When I first initially started reading it, it was hard to get into. I wasn't used to the more sophisticated writing, I want to say. It's the kind of writing that you read in school when you're supposed to analyze it and stuff like that. This one was just fantastic, honestly. Closer to the end, I was so invested in this. I needed to know where the main character Les was going and how he was gonna get there and what happened, and I really got invested in this character. First, initially I started reading it, I did not really care for the character, but as the book went on, he just became more endearing and he just became more adorable, and I just wanted him to have all the things in life. And he's 49, he's getting into his 50th birthday in this book, and he's kind of in a midlife crisis. His boyfriend of 9 years, they broke up, he's getting married. He got invited and he's nope. So he ends up taking all the invitations to all these different events around the world. So he's pretty much just going on a backpacking trip at 49 and seeing where the world takes him. This was really fun. I really enjoyed it. And number 7 of this year is Call Me By Your Name by Andre Assman. I've talked about this book a lot. I'm sure you're not surprised that it's on this list. This one was made into a movie and was given a lot of awards for it. It follows a character who is the son of a professor who takes in students every summer to help them with a thesis and get their thesis going, and I'm not too sure exactly what it's for, but does it every summer. And this year, the son that lives there gets attached to this boy who ends up being part of this program. I would definitely recommend this. My number 6 for this year would be Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. This one is just a really fun read. I really enjoyed reading it. It was fun. It was fantastic. I was so happy while I was reading this. It was so much fun, and I just hadn't had a book that I just had so much fun with in a very long time until I read this book, and I just loved it. It was so good. So this one pretty much follows a girl and a boy. They met in college, had a bunch of embarrassing meetings, and then they meet again 7 years later, and things just ensue from there. Their acquaintances turn best friends in here, and they start setting each other on blind dates, but they go on a double date with them. So essentially in this, they're not dating, but they pretty much are, since they ignore their blind dates throughout every single day. The next book on this list, number 5, which should be no surprise to you guys, is What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. This one was one of my most anticipated reads of 2018, and it did not disappoint at all. It was just a really fun read. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. I loved following the two main characters and seeing how their relationship developed. They were so adorable. They were just so fantastic, and I loved the characters so much. This one, how it starts is pretty much one boy moves to New York for a summer internship, and he's going to the post office and has a really cute meet cute with this boy who is bringing a box of stuff to be sent off to his ex-boyfriend. So that's how they meet, and then a round of bad dates go on between them, and it's just a really fun read, and I really enjoyed it. My number 4 was one of the first ones I read this year, and I really freaking enjoyed it. It was The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis. This was a really powerful book. It was surprising, it was intense, it was freaking fantastic. It says a lot about the rape culture in our time, and it is just so good. I'm not gonna say too much about it because I feel like if you're gonna read this one, you should go in blind, but just know that it doesn't involve rape. It doesn't involve a lot of sensitive issues. So if you do read this, look at all the triggers and see how it is and see what the warnings are and see if it's something you would like to read. But it is definitely a powerful book that has a lot to say about the rape culture and all culture of how women are presented. Really freaking loved this, really enjoyed it, and I would highly recommend it. My number 3 of this year, which was actually the first book I read this year, and like set up high expectation for this year because it made me bawl my eyes out so much, and that is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Oh my god, I read this book and I bawled. If you haven't read this one, please pick it up and check it out because it is just such a good book. It is so sad and so heartbreaking, but so like joyful. I don't know if joyful is the right word, but it's like it gives you a feeling, and I love that feeling. I don't know, but yeah, that's my top 3 of this year. My number 2 of this year, which should also come as no surprise, was Renegades by Marissa Mayer. This one was fantastic. The ending surprised me a hell of a lot. I was not expecting it at all, and it just shook me. It shook me so hard, and it was so good, okay? It was so good, and I can't wait to read Arch Enemies. I haven't picked it up yet because I've been trying to finally finish her other series, Lunar Chronicles. I am reading her Winter right now. I'm almost halfway done. It's coming along, but I'm hoping to get it done soon so then I can start Arch Enemies and figure out what goes on in the next book of this trilogy, I think. This book follows 2 characters. One is on the supervillain side and one is on the superhero side. So that's pretty much all you need to know. It is freaking fantastic, and it is so good. Now, the piece de resistance, how do you say that? I don't know. I'm not French. My number 1 of this year, which should come as no surprise, is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This one was my absolute favorite book of the year. It was enjoyable, it was written so well, and there was so much jam-packed in this book that it was just fantastic. I still can't believe so much stuff happened in this book, and it's only 500 pages. It is so freaking fantastic. It is so good. I love this book so much. I feel like people should go in blind, so I'm not going to talk about much of this. Just know that it does involve magic, it does involve girls kicking ass, and it involves African culture. It is fantastic, it is great, and I would highly recommend it. That is my number 1 book of the year. Those are the top 10 of the year of 2018. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below your top books of this year. Subscribe if you haven't yet, or if you want to, or whatever you want to do. You do you. Check out my other social media accounts, my Facebook, Twitter, Goodreads, and Instagram. I make a video hopefully every week, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye!